R&R gets you ready for tonight's game. The Shootaround.
Welcome back to R&R. If you're just joining us, where you been? We've been waiting on you. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson.
Yip, 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 yip.
Spurs hit the road to the great Northwest, and they're going to take on the Trailblazers 3 times in the next 12 days. Let's get ready for it. We'd like to welcome on the show Carolina Teague, our under the weather, though overly excited Spurs insider. Welcome aboard, Carolina. How are you today?
Hey guys, good morning. I have camera issues, but I'm trying to log into my camera right now so you guys can see me. I look great. I look beautiful, but my voice is just not working with me today.
It don't sound that bad.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
I said not that bad.
All right. The Spurs got a late one tonight. It's going to be a 9:30 tip against the Lillardless Trailblazers. The last time we saw the Trailblazers, we played them once this year, and I will say it might have been the biggest win of the year when we took them down early in the season in December by about 30 points,
right.
if I'm not mistaken. They don't have Lillard. We're coming off a nice little road win. Jakob Poeltl hitting a couple free throws and Keldon Johnson finding that nut and getting it back in. It's a race to the bottom. Who wants it less is really the question, Carolina. Who's going to – who do you like tonight?
I think the Trailblazers want it. Actually, you know what? Maybe the Spurs want it less because the Trailblazers, the last game they had against the Pistons, they fought really hard in order to beat them. They had lost the last 1 out of 11 games. And for this time against the Pistons, they were really aggressive, even though they didn't have Damian Lillard or they didn't have another star player as well, Josh Hart. So it's been really interesting to see the Blazers fighting as hard as they can.
Well, Rob always says organizations tank, players don't. Like, the players are never going to go out there and not try and win. So that's going to happen over the course of a tank where you may, as a GM, you're sitting up there watching, like, what are they doing? Why are they trying so hard? But the players are down there, we're grown men. Like, he's not better than me. I'm going to show him he's not better than me. So the fact that they win games here and there, even if it's 1 out of 11, doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me either. And another thing, too, is that the Blazers don't have Damian Lillard. They ruled yesterday or the day before that he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Yeah. And the Spurs go up against them another 2 times for the remainder of the season. So that should help out the Spurs, too, with this
if you're trying to get in. Yeah, well, or if you're trying to get in.
If you're trying to get in. Yeah, if you're trying to get into the playoffs. So, without Damian Lillard, it's a problem. Spurs
look to start tonight. DeJounte Murray at point guard. We believe Devin Vassell will stay in that starting lineup along with Keldon Johnson. Jakob Poeltl, what's his status tonight?
I don't know. We'll have to look into it. Let's talk about it, Blake.
Know yourself.
I was running through the 6 with my walk.
Without big buckets for the rest of the year, it appears that Lonnie has going to stay in that 6th-man role.
Yeah, because Josh Richardson is filled in for McBuckets quite nicely.
So it does appear that Josh will be the ongoing starter, at least by the last game. He had a good one. And Keita Bates-Diop, I do also will play a role in that starting lineup as we go on through.
Yeah, I really like Josh Richardson. He's been really filling in the role nicely in the past 11 games. He has been averaging 25 points and shooting 48% of his 3-pointers. So, wow. I mean, whether or not you like him or not, if you guys are trying to bank on the youth presence, he's going to be making $12.2 million next season. And the front office has an option. Do they want to keep him around or do they want to move him around for draft capital? With him performing this way, they can move him around the NBA if they choose to do so, or they can keep him around as one of their sharpshooters for the Spurs. So Josh Richardson is filling in his role really nicely.
I guess it goes both ways, Rob. I guess is the one, do the Spurs want to, do you want to keep one old head around like, hey guys, that's enough McDonald's this week?
Yes.
But then number 2 on the Spurs side, do you want to pay him $12 million?
I think you need an old guy in every room. You need an older big, you need an older forward, you need an older guard.
So you want 3 old.
I want 3 old dudes on my team. I want some. I want 3. And when I talk about old dudes, I want NBA vets that understand they are getting paid for what goes on 90% of the time off the court.
Right.
They're getting paid
How
for
to be
practice.
a pro. Right.
They're getting paid for demeanor. They're getting paid for the Draymond Greens. Hey man, we're punks. We're getting beat by bad teams. I know it's not me, but let me tell you, I know what winning is, and this ain't it. I think that's what I like those old guys, and Josh Richardson brings a little bit more to the table. The dude is a legitimate NBA starter, so I like him. But there's a lot of guys like him that you can find on a regular basis. Now, the Trailblazers, as we talk about the chase to the middle, let's get to know them.
Know your enemy.
Because we're going to get to see an old friend tonight, Drew Eubanks. Projected starter tonight.
He is over
there. Number 14 will square off against his old team. Also, Zach Collins is going home tonight, too. Maybe they'll guard each other. And halftime, they'll switch jerseys. But we do get a little bit of pepper tonight. We also will see Brandon Williams, Keon Johnson, we do believe, CJ Ellisby, if he can get off work, and Justice Winslow, Ricky's boy.
Who are these people that you're naming?
See, this is when we say franchises tank, players don't. Tanking franchises start guys like CJ Ellisby and Brandon Williams.
Who's the youngster that can shoot it? I like him.
Oh, the rest of the Portland Trailblazers squad, Nasir Little?
I forget his name. Anyways, what you got on Portland, CT?
Okay, so Drew Eubanks is back, which is great to see a familiar face. I did speak to Drew Eubanks after he left. Me and him were talking to each other. And
excuse me, Miss Insider. Do your thing.
My friend Drew, Drew and I had a conversation, and he said it was really hard for him to leave the San Antonio Spurs because he was closer to these people than his own fiance, which is really funny, by the way. Wow. And he said that he was with them all the time for practices, for weddings. It was really sad to see him go. So I think it's going to be fun for him to see his old friends back, the San Antonio Spurs. So I wish the best for Drew Eubanks. He had 17 points last game against the Pistons. But also, there's this little fun factoid. I don't even think y'all care about it, but Joseph Nurkic, he was fined $40,000 for throwing a fan phone, Indiana Pacers fan's phone. He took it and he threw it. And I think he had every right to throw this fan's phone.
Whoa!
He was fined $40,000.
The guy said, he said something about Nurkic's grandmother who passed away from COVID. So it struck a nerve.
Yeah, Nurkic's mother and his grandmother passed away from COVID, so
the fan knew
that. Right to pick up the phone. Yeah, why would you do that?
The fan knew that and it said something derogatory about his mother and grandmother, so that's why Nurkic threw his phone.
So classic.
He's lucky he didn't get slapped.
They're not a jury in the land that would have convicted him.
I think Dame Lillard should have paid that
You'd
fine
have
for
met
him.
the Nurkic left.
And I was talking about Anthony Simmons.
Oh, Anthony can play.
He can play.
You're not going to see any Anthony Simmons.
Okay.
And the thing is, exactly. He's not going to be in. Pretty much everybody's out right now. But, they play their little hearts out, even though there's nobody there.
Wow.
So Damian Lillard's out. Damian Lillard's out for the rest of the season. He's gone. Josh Hart was their
little
backup
hearts
guy.
out.
Yeah. Josh Hart was their backup guy. He's out completely, or he's out now for this game. And now you have Anthony Simmons out. And then, of course, you got players throwing fan phones and stuff like that. They've got a lot to work on, but I don't think that they have a lot of weapons on them to beat the Spurs.
And they don't
They do play their hearts out. Even though it's the Pistons and they're last in the Eastern Conference, and they only won the last 11 games before the Pistons, they play their hearts out.
We got history with Chauncey Billups as well. That 2005 finals, Spurs blow them out twice, then Pistons blow us out twice, then Rob goes and saves the day, goes to the game in Detroit, and they win game 5, and then game 6 we plan the parade, and Rasheed Wallace says, wait a minute,
not yet.
Wait a minute, damn it. So we got history with Big Shot Billups. But,
speaking of history, I forgot. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, speaking of history, I was going to say if the Blazers win tonight, the Spurs tie the Blazers record overall of, tying the most wins in history. So, they have the exact same record against each other. So the San Antonio Spurs have the most. San Antonio Spurs is the only team in pretty much sports history that has a winning record against their opponents. If they tie the Trailblazers, then they may possibly lose that record.
Wow. That's a nice fun fact.
There's a reason to play right there. Moving on.
Well,
Inside the training room.
Everybody pledge.
Is there something up with Pirtle?
No,
CT?
I don't see him on the list for being out tonight. The Spurs PR didn't release anything in regards to Jakob.
Okay.
Maybe there's something that might come out later today, but as of right now, nothing on Jakob. Which I'm not happy with Jakob, even though everybody else is.
Why?
I think he should have hit both free throws against the Warriors.
Yeah.
That's why I'm upset.
Damn.
Again, franchises tank, players don't. But he almost did his job. Almost did his job.
Almost.
Carolina Teague under the weather, but in the games. Thanks for stopping by. It is on point. Spurs tonight. Only 2 games this week. We'll see you again on Friday. Thanks for stopping by, Carolina. Feel better.
Thank you, guys. I'm taking my halls and calling it a day.
There you go. Carolina Teague coming in off the bench, playing hurt.